time of year again when GamesTM gets to argue, bicker and squabble over their favourite games before compiling this list. So without further ado, here's GamesTM's top 10 favourite games of 2009.
I've seen this before.
Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. It's not often that any game is able to rob us of several hundred hours and still hold our interest, and even less often that the title arrives on a handheld. But all those hours have not been in vain. Our wardrobes full of fancy G-rank equipment testament to just how many giant things we've killed. Giant apes to dragons, oversized crabs to armies of cat people, all have fallen in our pursuit for high fashion. But even though the end of Unite may be in sight, the Wii follow will be sure to reopen our hunting season in March.
That's tasty!
Left 4 Dead 2. We imagine there are quite a few less hats in the Valve community right now, meaning that most have been eaten by boycotters proven well and truly wrong. At least we hope so. Anyone still refusing to play Valve's second jaunt into cooperative survival horror on the grounds it could have been released as DLC is fooling themselves and dragging out a very pointless argument. Valve has proven once again that it's got the consumer in mind, with a sequel every bit as terse and enjoyable as the game it follows, and boasting a slew of new features.
I'm reloading.
Flower. The morning we sat down to play that game company's second game was one of overcast skies and gloomy faces. So it's a testament to the beauty of Flower's restorative play that it overcame our Monday blues and had us grinning in silent reverie for the remainder of the day. Its thematic messages may be a little heavy-handed, but the game through which they're conveyed is anything but. It's a quiet, reserved title whose awards are expressed through petals floating in warm sunset rather than the austerity of leaderboards and high scores. Truly, exceptionally beautiful.
Do what you gotta do to stop her. But don't get too trigger happy.
Resident Evil 5.
Happens. Won't be an easy target till they cool down.
Let's get the dirty business out of the way. Playing Resident Evil 5 with an AI partner is frustrating, sometimes broken, and tarnishes the overall experience with an unfairly broad brush. Play with a friend by your side, however, and you'll find these cracks in design disappear to the extent that you'll forget they ever existed at all.
You defeat multiple enemies in a row, you get yourself a nice bonus.
Resi 5's co-op play offers an adventure that doesn't radically alter the template laid out by Resi 4, but we didn't need it to.
I'll be there soon.
The result is an explosive adventure, complemented wonderfully by a Mercenaries mode that challenges even Gears of War 2's Horde for cooperative multiplayer dominance. The Beatles Rock Band. Differences in the underlying structure that governs both Guitar Hero Metallica and the Beatles Rock Band are negligible, yet both are nevertheless very different games. While Neversoft created a fantastic tour of Metallica's music and a great game to go with it, Harmonix went one step further and created an experience with one thing lacking in Guitar Hero Metallica: heart. The Beatles' music demands a level of passion and admiration, and this is exactly what it got through Rock Band. A game that allowed the fanfare's music to flourish in a framework of aestheticism that saw the heart sing. Street Fighter 4. Where to start? Street Fighter 4 has easily occupied more of our free time than any other title this year, with only the likes of FIFA 10 competing for more hours spent battling one another after hours in the office. The entire game is fine-tuned to damn near perfection. the movesets and array of tactics able to produce some of the finest multiplayer gaming we've seen not just this year, but this decade. The upcoming Super Street Fighter 4 may seem a cynical mid-90s marketing ploy to those not in the know, but for those who are, it's a substantial upgrade to what already touches on perfection.
Beautiful! Shoot!
DJ Hero. We knew DJ Hero was going to hold a special place in both our hearts and this list, the moment we put down our peripheral after the first lengthy session. Like its guitar-based precursor, DJ Hero refuses to stray far from our thoughts. Its addictive mechanics and inventive mashups, DJ Shadow and Tears of Fears anyone? Demanding we had another go. Freestyle Games did something incredibly difficult, and in doing so mirrored the accomplishment of harmonics, which was taking an incredibly complex talent and transforming it into something easy to grasp, new, and most importantly, fun. Assassin's Creed 2. We make no secret of the fact we weren't the biggest fans of the original Assassin's Creed. It remains a crushing reminder of the problems with overhype and repetitive design. Assassin's Creed 2, however, stands for something much different. It's proof that developers are listening, and a shining example of how different a game can be when its creators learn from its previous mistakes. Assassin's Creed 2 improved upon its predecessor with a multitude of new design choices, the end result being everything that Assassin's Creed should and could have been. Assassin's Creed 2 has its faults, but it remains a AAA gaming experience almost on par with Naughty Dog's efforts. Uncharted 2, Among Thieves.
I don't like these odds.
No?
No, I think maybe we should...
If this list illustrates anything, it's that 2009 was Sony's year when it came to software. No less than 4 Sony exclusives reside on this list, the only Left 4 Dead 2 from Microsoft, and not a single Nintendo exclusive challenging its dominance. Uncharted 2 is easily the quintessential embodiment of this trend, personifying PS3's 2009 efforts with an adventure of unprecedented quality. The characters, the environments, the music, the scripting, the action, the list of commendable features is endless, with Naughty Dog proving beyond a doubt that choice, morality and interactive narrative are not prerequisites of next generation gaming.
I gotta get off this thing.
Demon's Souls. With all the arguments of compiling this list, there was one game upon which there were no disagreements, and it was From Software's Demon's Souls, a game even we wouldn't have predicted would occupy the top spot of this list. But why? There are so many reasons it's impossible to pick just one. There's the way it reinvents the action RPG, incorporating elements of survival horror and MMO to create something entirely original. There's the fact that it's one of the hardest games of the generation, but also one of the most fair, with a learning curve that constantly rewards over hundreds of hours of gameplay. Or perhaps it's the way in which, no matter how far you tread, there's always something new and unexpected around every corner. The most unexpected surprise of all, however, is that we never saw any of this coming. Demon's Souls seemingly came from nowhere to take the prize of Game of the Year, and almost without anybody noticing. If you're one of the people who hasn't discovered why, then there's no time like the present.
That was a bold jump. A surprise indeed.